Shalom, my brothers and sisters in Yahweh, and welcome. Tonight is another study in the Book of Jubilees. And tonight we'll be going over chapters, 43, 44, and 45. So if you've got a Dead Sea Scrolls book, go ahead and grab it and get settled in, and we'll get started tonight. Hope everybody's having a good week. Got the weekend right around the corner, gang. Alright. Everybody comfy and cozy and got something to drink, and we're all good. Alright. I'm going to grab a shot off my coffee real quick and we'll get started. Yeah, I got to put a cover over my coffee. The flies are all coming in and can't have no swarming things in my coffee, huh? Alright, gang. The Book of Jubilees, chapter 43. He did as Joseph had told him, and filled all their sacks with food for them, and put their money back into their sacks, and put the cup in Benjamin's sack. Early in the morning they departed, and it happened that when they had gone from that place, Joseph said to the steward of his house, "Pursue them, run, and seize them, and say, 'You have repaid my kindness with evil. You have stolen from me the silver cup, out of which my Lord drinks. Bring me back their youngest brother. Go, get him quickly before I go to my seat of judgment, to judge you guilty of disobeying an order.' And he ran after them, and said the words as he was told. And they said to him, 'Yahweh forbid that your servants should do this thing, and steal any utensil or money from the house of your Lord, like the things we found in our sacks the first time we, your servants, came back from the land of Canaan. We have not stolen any utensil. How could we? Look here in our sacks and search, and wherever you find the cup in the sack of any man among us, let him be killed, and we and our donkeys will serve your Lord.' He said to them, 'Not so. If I find it, the man whose sack I find it in, I shall take as a servant, and the rest of you shall return in peace to your house.' He was searching in their vessels, beginning with the eldest and ending with the youngest, when it was found in Benjamin's sack. They ripped their garments in frustration and placed their belongings back on their donkeys, and returned to the city and came to the house of Joseph. They all bowed themselves with their faces to the ground in front of him. Joseph said to them, 'You have done evil.' And they said, What shall we say, and how shall we defend ourselves? Our Lord has discovered the transgression of his servants, and now we and our donkeys are the servants of our Lord.' Joseph said to them, 'I too fear Elohim. As for you, go to your homes, and let your brother be my servant, because you have done evil. I delight in this cup, as no one else delights in his cup, and yet you have stolen it from me.' Judah said, 'O my Lord, I pray you to let your servant speak a word in my Lord's ear. Your servant's mother had 2 sons for our father. One went away and was lost, and has not been found since. This one alone is left of his mother, and your servant our father loves him. He would die if the lad were lost to him. When we go to your servant our father, and the lad is not with us, it will happen that he will die. We will have brought so much sorrow on our father, it will bring his death. Now rather let me, your servant, stay here as a bondsman to my lord instead of the boy. Let the lad go with his brothers, because I will stand in for him at the hand of your servant our father. If I do not bring him back, your servant will bear the blame of our father forever." Joseph saw that they were all in accord in doing good to one another. Then he could not refrain himself, and he told them that he was Joseph. And he conversed with them in the Hebrew tongue, and hugged their necks, and wept. At first they did not recognize him, and then they began to weep. He said to them, "Do not weep for me, but hurry, and bring my father to me. See, it is my mouth that speaks, and the eyes of my brother Benjamin see me." Pay attention. This is the second year of the famine, and there are still 5 years to come without harvest or fruit of trees or plowing. You and your households come down quickly, so that you won't die because of the famine. Do not be grieved for your possessions, because the Elohim sent me before you to set things in order, that many people might live. Tell my father that I am still alive. You see that the Elohim has made me as a father to Pharaoh, and ruler over his house, and over all the land of Egypt. Tell my father of all my glory, and all the riches and glory that the Elohim has given me. By the command of Pharaoh's mouth, he gave them chariots and provisions for the way, and he gave them all multicolored raiment and silver. He sent corn, raiment, silver, and 10 donkeys that carried all of this to his father, and he sent them away. They went up and told their father that Joseph was alive, and was measuring out corn to all the nations of the earth, and that he was ruler over all the land of Egypt. But their father did not believe it, because he was not in his right mind. But when he saw the wagons which Joseph had sent, the spirit of his life, the life of his spirit revived. And he said, "It is enough for me if Joseph lives. I will go down and see him before I die." Chapter 44. Israel took his journey from Haram's house on the new moon of the 3rd month, and he stopped at the well of the oath on the way, and he offered a sacrifice to the Elohim of his father Isaac on the 7th of this month. Jacob remembered the dream that he had at Bethel, and he feared to go down into Egypt. He was thinking of sending word to Joseph to come to him because he did not want to go down. He remained there 7 days, hoping fate would permit him to see a vision as to whether he should remain or go down. He celebrated the harvest festival of the firstfruits with old grain, because in all the land of Canaan there was not a handful of seed in the ground, because the famine was affecting all the beasts and cattle and birds and all men. On the 16th, the Elohim appeared to him and said to him, "Jacob, Jacob." And he said, "Here I am." And he said to him, "I am the Elohim of your fathers, the Elohim of Abraham and Isaac. Do not be afraid to go down into Egypt, because I will be there to make you a great nation. I will go down with you, and I will bring you up again. You will be buried in the land, and Joseph will put his hands on your eyes to close them in death. Do not be afraid. Go down into Egypt." And his sons got up and placed their father and their possessions on wagons. Yisrael got up from the well of the oath on the 16th of the 3rd month, and he went to the land of Egypt. Yisrael sent Judah before him to his son Joseph to examine the land of Goshen, because Joseph had told his brothers that they should come and live there so they could be near him. This was the best land in Egypt. It was near to him and suitable for all of the cattle they had. These are the names of the sons of Jacob, who went into Egypt with Jacob their father. Reuben, the firstborn of Israel, and his son Enosh, Palu, and Hezron, and Carmi, making 5. Simon, and his sons, Jemuel, and Jamin, Ohad, Jachin, Zohar, and Shaul, the son of the Zephathite woman, making 7. Levi, and his sons, Gershom, Kohath, and Merari, making 4. Judah, and his sons, Shelah, Perez, Zerah, making 4. Issachar, and his sons, Tola, Fuah, Yasub, and Shimron, making 5. Zebulun and his sons, Sered, and Elon, Yahaleel, making 4. These are the sons of Jacob, and their sons whom Leah bore to Jacob in Mesopotamia, 6, and their one sister Dinah, and all the souls of the sons of Leah, and their sons who went with Jacob their father into Egypt, 29 souls, and Jacob, making 30, were the number of people that went into Egypt. And the sons of Zilpah, Leah's handmaid, the wife of Jacob, who bore to Jacob Gad and Asher, and their sons, who went with him into Egypt. Come on, fingers. The sons of Gad are Ziphion, and Haggai, and Shunai, and Esbon, and Eri, and Arli, and Ardai, which make 8 souls in total. The sons of Asher are Imnah, and Ishvah, and Ishvai, and Beriah, and Sarah, and their one sister, which makes 6 in total. All the souls were 14, and all those of Leah were 44. The sons of Rachel, the wife of Jacob, are Joseph and Benjamin. There were born to Joseph in Egypt before his father came into Egypt, those whom Asnath, daughter of Potiphar, priest of Heliopolis, gave birth to him, Manasseh and Ephraim. The wife and children of Joseph totaled 3. The sons of Benjamin, Bilhah, and Becher, and Ashbel, Gerah, and Naaman, and Ahi, and Rosh, and Mapim, and Huppim, and Ard, with Benjamin, totaled 11. And all the souls of Rachel were 14. And the sons of Bilhah, the handmaid of Rachel, the wife of Jacob, whom she gave birth to Jacob, were Dan and Naphtali. These are the names of their sons who went with them into Egypt. The sons of Dan were Hashim, and Salmon, and Ashdui, and Ijaka, and Solomon, all totaling 6. All but one died the year in which they entered into Egypt, and there was left to Dan only Hashim. These are the names of the sons of Naphtali: Jahziel, and Gunai, and Jezer, and Shallum, and Iv. And Iv, who was born after the year of famine, died in Egypt. All the souls of Rachel were 26. All the souls of Jacob, which went into Egypt, were 70 souls. These are his children, and his children's children, in all 70. But 5 died in Egypt in the time of Joseph's rule, and they had no children. In the land of Canaan 2 sons of Judah died, and Onan, and they had no children, And the children of Israel buried those who died, and they were counted among the 70 Gentile nations. Chapter 45. On the new moon of the 4th month, in the 2nd year of the 3rd week of the 45th Jubilee, Israel went into the country of Egypt, to the land of Goshen. Joseph went to meet his father Jacob in the land of Goshen, and he hugged his father's neck and wept. Israel said to Joseph, "Now that I have seen you, let me die, and may Yahweh, Elohim of Israel, the Elohim of Abraham, the Elohim of Isaac, who has not withheld his mercy and his grace from his servant Jacob, be blessed. It is enough for me to have seen your face while I am yet alive. Yes, this is true. This is the true vision which I saw at Bethel. Blessed be Yahweh, my Elohim, forever and ever, and blessed be his name." Joseph and his brothers ate bread in the presence of their father and drank wine. And Jacob rejoiced with very great joy, because he saw Joseph eating with his brothers and drinking in the presence of him. And he blessed the Creator of all things, who had preserved him, and had preserved for him his 12 sons. Joseph had given his father and his brothers as a gift the right of dwelling in the land of Goshen, and in Rames, and all of the region around it, which he ruled over in the presence of Pharaoh. Israel and his sons dwelt in the land of Goshen, the best part of the land in Egypt, and Israel was 130 years old when he came into Egypt. Joseph nourished his father and his brothers, and also their possessions, his servants, with bread, as much as they needed for the 7 years of the famine. The land of Egypt became available for purchase because of the famine, and Joseph acquired all the land of Egypt for Pharaoh in return for food, and he got possession of the people and their cattle, and everything for Pharaoh. The years of the famine were completed, and Joseph gave the people in the land seed and food, that they might sow the land in the 8th year, because the river had overflowed all the land of Egypt. For in the 7 years of the famine it had not overflowed, and had irrigated only a few places on the banks of the river. But now it overflowed, and the Egyptians sowed the land, and it produced much corn that year. This was the 1st year of the 4th week of the 45th Jubilee. Joseph took 1/5 of the corn of the harvest for the king, and left 4 parts for them for food and for seed. And Joseph made it a law for Egypt until this day. Israel lived in the land of Egypt 17 years, and all the days which he lived were 3 jubilees, 147 years, and he died in the 4th year of the 5th week of the 45th Jubilee. Israel blessed his sons before he died, and told them everything that they would go through in the land of Egypt. He revealed to them what they would live through in the last days, and he blessed them, and gave Joseph 2 portions of the land. He slept with his fathers, and he was buried in the double cave in the land of Canaan, near Abraham his father, in the grave which he dug for himself in the land of Hebron. And he gave all his books, and the books of his fathers, to Levi, his son, so that he might preserve them and replicate them for his children unto this day. And that's the end of chapter 45. So, there again, we're running right alongside the Bible as far as what's being told to us here. So that's cool. Everything seems the same. Doesn't seem like there's any deviation. Just straight along the same lines. That's good. That's good. The only thing that we see that's different in the Jubilees compared to the Bible is that it mentions the scrolls that Jacob had. The scrolls that were written by Abraham and the scrolls that were written by Enoch that lived through the flood, that Noah took onto the ark with him and lived through the flood. So Levi had the original scrolls and the scrolls that Abraham was given. So he had all the books. So they knew the history from Adam on. They had it with them. That gives you a little bit of crayon action to color in the picture there that we didn't quite get at the end of Genesis. Interesting, huh? Yeah, okay. Well, it's a good study, gang. And I thank you for joining me. And I ask, bring your family and friends to the Bible studies. Help them to understand. Help them to gain knowledge and wisdom. Gang, we're in the end times. The waters have broke. The birth pangs, they're in full blast. And it's coming to an end. We got 7 years maybe left. So it's really important that your family and your friends have a complete understanding of Yahweh's Word. Not like you're going to get it in any church, because the church doesn't talk about a lot of these things that we discuss on this channel, that we read in Yahweh's Word, and the Extra-canonicals. So it's real important to know all of these things. And it's Yah's law to know Leviticus. It's his law. Dad wants us to know those things and live by them. So it's really important, gang. Now, I think that's all I've got for tonight. And I thank you once again for joining me. And I hope that you're learning and gaining knowledge and enjoying this study. Because it is fun. It's cool. But I will see you all on Shabbat. Okay, we will be studying Vayikra, which is Leviticus chapter 23. And that's going to explain our holidays, gang, the ones that we're supposed to be following. Not Christmas, New Year's, Easter, St. Patrick's Day, St. Valentine's Day, Halloween, 4th of July. Yeah, we're not supposed to be following those holidays. The holidays we're going to go over in chapter 23 of Leviticus is what we're supposed to be following. So join me. Join me on Shabbat, and we'll go over all of them, and hopefully we understand everything that's going on there, and you will understand that these are supposed to be our holidays, not the ones that man made up. Alright, gang, that's it. Y'all have a great night, and we'll see you on Shabbat. Alright? Shalom.